Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today's video is going to be a little bit different from the rest of them. This is going to be our first part of our series of ranking all the movies that I have currently watched. I just want to do this after every franchise that I currently am watching, just to kind of keep you up to date on my thoughts and everything movie related here. But to start things on off, we are going to be taking both Friday the 13th and Scream. Since I reviewed Scream around Scream 7, I don't want to go through all those movies again for the third time already on the channel. So we're going to start with those two. The next one will actually be Halloween, and then we're going to do Wrong Turn as well. My Wrong Turn videos from almost a year ago are still doing really good, so I'm not going to re-review those just yet. I'm going to let those die off, and then I'll review them later on down the road. So I will add on Halloween and Wrong Turn after that. But basically, I'm going to rank these. We'll pop up some videos, some pictures, some clips, whatever we need to on screen, and yeah, we'll kind of go into it. To start things on and off, I have the original Scream at a 9.28 rating. These could possibly change as we move forward. As I get more movies added in, I might have to go further in depth of where I want these to be, and I might have to give it a little bit lower or higher of a ranking, so be aware of that. But 9.28, I think the original Scream is easily the best Scream. I think there's a few other ones that live up to the potential of that first one, but we get introduced to both Stu Macher and Billy Loomis in that movie. They set things on off. I love the Scream franchise. It's probably my favorite franchise to watch of all the horror franchises out there just because of what they do. There's like two movies in that franchise where I really just don't care for them, but the other ones like make up for it big time. Right behind that, Scream 4 had a 9.23, so I actually have this one quite a bit higher up on there. Joe Roberts for me is one of the best Ghostface killers. I think she probably falls in third place behind Billy and Stu Macher just for the sheer fact that she's the cousin and she does a really good job within this movie of um, being Ghostface in the sense of she's traumatized basically by Sydney and being related to her, and then at the same rate she wants to be like that star girl within her family or just in general. So I really like her motive. I really like what she does within this movie. She partners up with one of the Culkin brothers actually, who I did not know was related there um, within this movie. I think they do a nice little modern approach as well um, to kind of showcase like what they wanted to push at the time. So Scream 4 being released when it did, vlogging, videoing, everything was starting to take off a little bit, and I think they did a pretty good job of bringing that into the movie and kind of making it more relevant during that time. And it was actually a lot of fun because they had the whole Scream marathon, everything's being recorded, so people are seeing bits and pieces of everything that's happening as it's happening, which for me was kind of a cool little twist on the movie. That's something we didn't have in the first three, just because of how older the first three were. So for me, a lot of fun. I really did enjoy that. So hopefully everyone kind of shares that same opinion a little bit, or at least to an extent. Behind that, I actually have Scream 5, which might shock quite a few people. I have this at a 9.18. Them switching main characters, I was very hesitant about, and I don't typically care for that in franchises. I know we see it with Friday the 13th all the time, different group of kids, everything like that, but had that core in the first four. The switchover, I was a little hesitant, but they did a great job. Jenna Ortega was amazing in this movie. I know she didn't play a big part in it. The next movie she does, but I really like her. The girl that plays Sam is all right. I'm not the biggest fan of her, but I think it does the job here within this fifth one. I like the killers in this one as well. Richie, I think, is great, pretending that he doesn't know what the stab movies are and everything like that. When we find out later in the sixth one that he actually had like a whole kind of like shrine in a sense of those stab movies, and um, he was a big fan of everything that happened with those Ghostface killings. So for me, I really like the story that they told here. They did a great job of both the Ghostface killers, I think, in this movie, and they bring it back to the OG house, which I love seeing because that house is just iconic. We see it brought up in almost every movie from that point on, but um, it was a lot of fun for me. I really did enjoy it, and I know this one will probably be a little bit of a hot take for most people because everyone doesn't really care for the fifth and sixth movies, but for me, I really did enjoy them quite a bit. So moving forward, we have Scream 6. I actually do have this pretty high up as well. I have it at a 9.1. Again, this might be another hot take, which is okay. I will take the heat for it, but I really just enjoy the movie. I think having the three killers was kind of nice. I could see myself maybe dropping this down later on as I get more movies added into it, but for me, it was an enjoyable movie. I like the three killers. I like the cast of people they had in this movie. I think they could have done a little bit better with an execution at times with the killer, but it kind of gave us more of a thrill. And having three killers for the first time was a lot of fun because they wanted to switch it up. And for me, it kind of reminded me of like Hard Eyes, where we had those type of killers, and I think they wanted to beat those, other slasher movies to the point of, oh, it could be upwards of three, or we could have a cult like Cult of Chucky with like six of them, which I'm still expecting them to do at some point, give us an extended, 3 to 4 hour movie or part one, part two, where there's six different killers and we reveal some with more coming right after. Like I'm expecting them to do that at some point with these movies, but um, for me, having the three was a nice step in the right direction. I wouldn't mind having more as long as the story fits, or if they split the two groups up somehow of main characters, bring back everyone that was in the sixth one, split it up, have Sydney run with the group and this and that, like something where it's taking place in two different spots at one time. I think could be kind of a cool concept, but pretty fun movie for me. Again, I just really like the Scream movies. They're gonna be skewed compared to the rest of them just because of how much I like the franchise. So. Up next at the fifth spot, I actually have Friday the 13th, Jason Lives. Zombie Jason is my favorite Jason of the franchise. I really enjoy what they did with him throughout these movies, just from the sheer fact that they actually took the time to resurrect him and make him look relatively what he should look like, a zombie at that point, and then giving him kind of like superhuman strength and superpowers in the sense of he's just nonstop constant adrenaline, constantly going, taking people out left and right. This movie was upbeat. I love the upbeat movies. I hate when movies are slow, especially in the horror slasher genre. Like they need to be upbeat and fast paced and fun for me to watch. I really do like what they do with him in this movie a lot. I really recommend of watching any of the Friday the 13th movies to watch this movie because this one for me is just a lot of fun and the most fun I had within the franchise for the most part. Next up, I have at the sixth spot currently, again, two franchises. I have Freddy versus Jason. And this is, again, where I'm going to take a little bit of heat, but I'm okay with taking that heat. This movie would be higher up if the story was just a little bit better. But I have this coming in at a 7.7. I had the first, or that Friday the 13th at an 8.2. For me, Freddy versus Jason was just one of those movies where you get two of the icons and you want to like really like it, but you also want to hate it at the same time. Like I see like mixed reactions amongst people. For me, I just really love the movie. You have two icons right there in front of you. Something I've always wanted to see more of is these horror icons like crossing over, giving us fans something to go off of, like who is the stronger of the two. Like I would love to see like a Pinhead versus a Pennywise, or like a Creeper versus, you know, Michael Myers or something. Like, give us some more movies like this because I really did enjoy this movie. We see Freddy taking Jason to the dream world and tormenting him there, showing his abilities of staying alive and regenerating and not dying there in his dream world. And then we see Freddy getting pulled into reality, having to fight Jason there in real life, and then seeing the fact that Jason is a little bit stronger in that aspect. Um, the one thing of Jason Goes to Hell that I really liked that they did was giving us that, Freddy pulling him into the ground moment. That's about the only thing I liked about that movie. So that being teased and then them actually coming out with the Freddy vs. Jason movie was a lot of fun for me, and I wish we've gotten more of those, but unfortunately we have not. It's been the only crossover we've had to this date, outside of a few other things like the Ring and Grudge crossovers, but that's their takes on it. I guess I haven't seen those movies, so that's something I'm gonna hop into. But for me, a lot of fun watching this movie. Not a lot of people share the same opinion, but that's okay. It is what it is at that point. Next up, I have Scream 2, and I have this sitting at a 7.68. I like the movie, I just don't really care for how they went about Billy's mom being in that movie and how, like, she played, like, that Gale Weathers type role and then came back and was the mother of Billy, I guess, and I just don't really care for that as much. Mickey in that movie, I really like. He kind of gave me that crazy type vibe early, just from watching him in class when they're talking about horror movies and all that fun stuff there. I just wish the mom part was executed better. If that was executed a little bit better, and I think if the movie's pacing and story was just a little bit better, this movie would be a lot higher up for me. I have it sitting as what my fifth Scream movie, which I think is crazy because I definitely think it had the potential to be higher for me, and I might even be ranking the fifth and sixth one too high. But I really genuinely feel like those movies deserve to be that high. But I would just personally like to see them do a little bit more within that movie, telling the mom's background, not having her as a reporter. I think it would have been better if we just kind of saw her, maybe even as a professor would have been better, like something where like you don't think about it, but then it's like, oh, or like if they know, or if they knew who the mother was because of her running off, like they didn't. I think if they knew who it was, it would have made a little more sense and would have, I don't know, been better overall, in my opinion. Like I think Sydney's the only one who really knows who she is, and Randy was killed early in that movie, so it was like, I don't know. Next up I have Friday the 13th, part 4, the final chapter. This movie I was actually kind of shocked by, because for me these movies, in at least the first four, progressively got better. And I only say that because the first movie you don't really have Jason in it, then you have, Sandbag Jason, and then you finally get the mask, and then this movie I just thought was the first movie where we fully get like a true Jason, and the cast in this movie I thought was phenomenal. I really liked watching everyone within this movie. I gave it a probably what was it, a 7.38, so it's pretty high up there still. Expect a lot of these movies to drop, and I think once Halloween gets put into it a little bit more, we're gonna see some movies jumping up there. The ones that'll probably jump up quite a bit might be those paranormal ones, because those do tend to scare me quite a bit, and I do have a scare factor like written into this, and I'm not big on the demonic stuff, but the slashers, I really think highly of the Scream franchise, so I might revisit that and maybe be like, this Halloween movie might be better, so maybe I gotta drop this now because I didn't think this Halloween movie was this. So bear with the adjustments as they come. Not to get sidetracked there, but part 4, a lot of fun. I like the cast. We have one of the guys, I forget his name off the top of my head, just because these are older actors and actresses in this movie. The guy that plays in the Goonies, I really love him. I love what he does at the end, where he basically goes psycho on Jason and just over and over and over and over again just start stabbing and stabbing and stabbing, cut off his hair. He was invested in that, and I thought that was a lot of fun to end the movie. Everything about this movie was a lot of fun, outside of like one of the friends kind of being a little annoying, but other than that, not a bad movie. I would watch this any day of the week and be happy about it. Most of these movies I would watch whenever, especially around the Halloween time. But next up, I have Scream 3. Not one of my favorite Scream movies. Unfortunately, it's got a 7.1 for me, and I think that could even be possibly lower on rewatch. It was during the early 2000s where we didn't see a whole lot of kills on screen when watching these horror movies, just because of all the violence that was going around during that time. And for me, it was a lackluster, and for crying out loud, Gale's bangs in that movie were just god awful. Like I could not look at the screen and just be like taking her serious. It was just kind of stupid, and overall, I didn't like it. Um, Roman has grown on me as a killer. Watching them the first few times through, I never really liked Roman, but the more and more I see him, the more I like the fact that he was a solo killer, being the brother of Sydney. And I like what they do in the seventh one of bringing him back with that AI version and just kind of, you know, making him more involved within the franchise. But he didn't have as impactful of a movement, I guess, that I would have wanted him to within these movies, just due to the fact that he's mentioned really just in that movie, and like we don't hear anything really about him afterwards. Like with Billy and Stumacher, you always heard their names come up, or even Jill's name come up, or Kirby later on, who's not even a killer. Like you don't even really hear much about Roman after that movie outside of the shrine in the sixth one. So for me, it was just kind of a one-off, and you forget about him in a sense. And I really wish they did more with him, because I think had he had a better setting than one Hollywood, but like two, like maybe a second killer, or even just if it was back at the normal house or something like that. Some setting I think was a lot to do with it. It was in that like Hollywood area, and I didn't really care for it. And then they go on about Sydney's mom and all this other stuff, and it's just like, okay, like we're taking away from the movie, and it's like super slow. And again, all the kills come off screen. I wish there was more they did in this movie, for it to be higher up. But to move on from that, I have the original, or no, I have Friday the 13th Part 3, when we finally see Jason getting more and more of his mask. Um, this is the first movie where we see him fully just involved in himself with that hockey mask and everything. And other than that, like it's an alright movie. We see a few nice kills in it. It's nothing crazy. I have it coming in at like a 5.75. Like I'll watch it, but it's like, oh, I'm watching it when I'm rewatching the franchise in a sense. Like it's not like, Freddy vs. Jason or part 6 when like I could literally just watch it over and over again on repeat. It's just not like that for me, unfortunately. So, um, it's one of those movies where, like I said, I think it gets better and better as it goes on. But now looking at it, I think I actually dropped down one of the movies yesterday when I was re-looking at things. So, yeah, I don't really have much to say about part 3. Everything like it's under 6 is a little bit harder for me to talk about just because like it's a movie I'll watch, but it's not like on my top of the list to watch in a sense. After that, it's at the 11th spot. I do have Friday the 13th, the original. This movie is great to start off the franchise, but we really don't see Jason in it. It's just Pamela Voorhees, and it's, I don't know, like the cast they had. I mean, you got Kevin Bacon in there, and it's one of those where it's like, oh, this could be really good, and then it's just kind of mediocre in my opinion. It wasn't my favorite. Wish it was a little higher up, but not much more I can really say about that. You have some nice kills in that movie. I actually really like watching the documentary about the movie. I don't know if you guys have seen that on Netflix, but them talking about it and how they almost lost the area that they're filming in and a bunch of other stuff within that. But other than it being a slow-paced movie and not seeing Jason, it's kind of really just known for starting off the franchise. It's kind of forgotten outside of that, in my opinion, in my eyes at least. So, after that, I have Scream 7, and this might actually drop lower on. Well, we'll see on second watch through. I did not like the Scream movie at all. I have it sitting at a 5.69. Um, that might drop down even further. I don't like who they picked for the killers in this movie. I couldn't even tell you their names at this point. I've only seen the movie once. AI being involved in this movie I thought was stupid. I like the fact that they involve Sydney's daughter a little bit more and have some really nice moments of them crawling behind the wall space, and going through things. I was really hoping for more of an impact from a role like Stumacher outside of the AI that they use. Although some people are debunking it and saying the first video that was sent to them was actually Stumacher and everything else was AI, but I don't know. I really hope they come back with Scream 8 and actually give us something that's more memorable and gives us Matthew Lillard back in the Stumacher role. That would be great. I would love that because I think bringing him back and having a cult like feel to things where he's leading like a group of 5 or 6 people would be really cool. Could even be a good way to end the franchise if they do it right. Give us a part 1, part 2, a 4 hour overall movie in a sense. Um, Again, it was just a letdown for me. I was hyped up because I knew Lillard was coming out and saying stuff about him being in the movie and this and that, and then it was just a letdown. I just did not like it, and for the time we waited and the hype they gave it with Matthew Lillard, it was just disappointing and not a well-produced movie at all. But you have those the more and more you go on with these movies. We see it within Friday the 13th and even Halloween. So after that, I have Friday the 13th, part 7, which I think I am going to switch with part 2. I'm going to put part 2 above part 7. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to think this through and make sure I'm doing the right thing here. But yeah, I'm going to flip-flop those two. They're within point zero 0.01 of each other right now, but Friday the 13th part 2, the Sandbag Jason, a lot better than that one. I don't know what I was thinking when I originally did these rankings, but um I don't know. The movies to me just kind of they just fall off all over the place, and it's just unfortunate to see. But um, I really don't have much more to say there because I just really did not care for part 7. Part 2 wasn't bad. They brought in the Sandbag Jason. They take out a few people, which was nice. I like the cast they have in the two, like the first 3 movies. I think the cast is great. It's just the execution of Jason isn't that great compared to the rest of them. So that's really all I have to say there. I'm just gonna kind of drop these in place here. 13 through 15 will be those movies. Part 5, A New Beginning, for Jason, I didn't really care for that much. Let me do a quick little Google here. I just want to make sure I'm saying their names right. I think the way Jason looked in this movie was really, really stupid. Um, and it didn't make sense to me, kind of like how he could just come back like he did within this movie. Um, But that's really all I have there. It's a new beginning there, and I just didn't really care for it. Again, Zombie Jason to me was the best version of Jason. That was the fun one for me. But the mask in this one, I thought the mask was stupid in this. Personally, um, I think a little bit more could have been done. But let me do one more thing here. But yeah, it's an alright movie. It's nothing crazy. I just wish they did a little bit better there. Which then leads me into Friday the 13th. Um, Jason Takes Manhattan. Why? Why are we taking this away from the Crystal Lake area? Why are we going to Manhattan? I didn't get that. It was such a slow movie. Jason being on the boat, like he's just, picking up kills every like what 20 minutes. It goes on for way too long. It's an hour and 40 minutes long for no reason. The best moment I think in that movie is when he literally takes out one of the stereos or whatever that they're listening to and then turns around and takes off his mask and shows his face. Like I thought that was literally the best part of the movie and I think that's sad. I don't really have a crazy amount to say about that movie. Again, a lot of these movies with them being lower ranks under five, to me are just it's sad and not a lot of fun to talk about sometimes. But um, I don't understand it. Why take him to Manhattan? There was no point in that. Like that's just you running out of ideas and forcing a movie at that point, and then you have this movie bomb. It was terrible. Did not care for it at all. Following that, I have Jason X. Why bring him into outer space? I don't get that either. I don't get it. During this time, I know we saw like a lot of movies going out outer space, like Leprechaun and a few others, but why? Why couldn't we have just kept it to what we knew and what was working? Go back to that zombie Jason format. Like why? Why? I just don't get it. I didn't like it. I thought there was a few nice kills, and I think really the best part of that movie was him busting through a door because he looked kind of OP during that moment. But everything else was just kind of like meh. I didn't really care for the movie, and I really wish they just did a much better job with it, to be completely honest with you. And then Jason Goes to Hell is like gonna be really low on my list. I mean, Jason Takes Manhattan's a 3.83. I have Jason X as a 2.5, and then I have Jason Goes to Hell: The Final Friday, a 2.0. Why? The military really at the start of that movie, and then the rest of the movie, it's just like him transferring his abilities to someone else. Like why? Like I just don't get that at all. I really don't, and I really just did not like it whatsoever. And for me, it was just not a fun movie. And I just realized the Friday the 13th I talked about at 11 is actually the 2009 version. So I do think it gets progressively better. But um, I hope these are videos you guys are going to like. They are going to be a little bit longer. The editing's going to take a little bit longer on it, but that's fine. I just want to do something a little bit different on the channel, give you guys a little bit more. Like I said, when I do newer videos in the future, I'm just going to talk about the new ones. So like when I do Halloween and Wrong Turn, I'm going to add those into the mix, and then I'll have like an arrow showing up or down on certain movies or whatever. I don't know, I might just even throw up a side by side of it, but um, we'll just talk about those movies and include clips from those movies alone. I just don't see a point in kind of showcasing all of that to you guys. I'll have like a little list somewhere, like I'll get it all mapped out and everything for you guys, but I just want to do this after every one or two franchises to kind of give you guys something new and see an updated list of my rankings of these movies so you guys can critique it. If you guys have any other movies you'd like to see me watch and review, please let me know. I'm starting to upload to TikTok a little bit more, so if you guys want to go follow me on there as well, that'd be great. Because once I hit 50, I could maybe even start streaming some of those movies and everything. But um, other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. I appreciate you for stopping on by, and I hope you guys all enjoy. We'll see you in the next one.